Hello folks, welcome. Welcome to Flash Editorials for November 9th, 2012. I'm Russ Longcore, the owner and editor of Dump DC. Flash Editorials is presented by www.dumpdc.com. Dump DC is the world leader in secessionist thought. We show the world that secession is the only hope for personal liberty and property rights on this planet. Now, this past week has been one for the record books, folks. Something major happened on Tuesday. Not sure what it is. The daily traffic I get now at dumpdc.com, which is, once again, a secessionist website, is 5 times what I got just on Monday. I wonder what could have caused that. Let's go to the news, and I bet we find out. By the way, in this video, I use some cuss words. So if cuss words offend you, don't watch this video. You've been warned. In the Nation, Part 1. Mr. Obama won on Tuesday, folks, unless you were living under a rock someplace. So just deal with it. He's our guy. Well, he's America's guy. He's Washington's guy for another 4 years, maybe. Why did Barry win? Simple. The Republicans made a mildly convincing argument that America should fire Mr. Obama. But the Republicans did not make a convincing argument that America should hire Mr. Romney. Karl Rove actually said this in the last 24 hours. Now get this, this is amazing. Quote, "The October surprise was an act of God. Hurricane Sandy interrupted Mr. Romney's momentum," end quote. So by extension, Mr. Rove, I'm saying that I'm assuming then that you must have said in that statement that God wanted Obama to win. What other conclusion could you come to if God wasn't doing this and he wanted Romney to be his boy? Then the hurricane wouldn't have struck the Northeast. Okay, I don't think that's the case. But I digress. Listen, I wrote a brilliant analysis of the election and posted it on Thursday, so you can go down here and you can just find it. It's a couple of articles down from what you're going to see here. But if you are educated in government schools and you get most of your information from television, I'm going to take a moment or two and spoon feed you, so open wide. No one in America has fronted the ridiculous notion that Mitt was the best man that the Republicans could find to be the presidential candidate. He just simply outspent and outlasted the others. And his campaign staff, in league with the Republican National Committee, blackballed Ron Paul. Now, no one in America also has fronted the ridiculous notion that Americans rejected Mitt as president because they rejected his core beliefs. And that is because who knows what Romney's core beliefs really are. He was the chameleon candidate. Reminded me of the hit 80s song My Obsession by Animotion. You remember that one? In the chorus, the singer sings this. Or the lead singer sings this. I'll sing this for you. "You're an obsession, you're my obsession. Who do you want me to be to make you sleep with me?" Amazing, isn't it? That's my debut of singing on YouTube. Classically trained lyric tenor, sang opera and oratorio for 20 years. 5 Grammy Awards, and that's what you get? Oh, well, what am I going to say? Anyway, Mitt would say or do anything to get elected. He ran for Senate against Teddy Kennedy in 1994 and got clubbed. He's been doing anything he can to get elected to some office for 18 years. He got the Massachusetts governorship in 2002, but only served 1 term. But that's enough to enhance a resume. Think about the huge thing that Romney avoided in his campaign, which is Obamacare. Now, if he would have solemnly vowed to abolish Obamacare as president, he probably would have won. Why? Senior citizens nationwide are scared of getting their benefits cut under Obamacare. Now, even though he invented Romneycare in Massachusetts, he could have made a convincing argument that what works at a state level for just a couple of million people does not translate to 315 million people, especially when DC is running it. Or if his ego wasn't so enormous, he could have repudiated Romney Care entirely, but that wasn't going to happen. Think about the next thing. Think about Obama's own words about his one-term presidency. Now, back in 2008, before he got elected, he was interviewed by, I think, Matt Lauer, and I've got a piece of that video on Dump DC in an article called Obama's Daily Meal, and if you want to see that, go and find that in the archive. But Obama's own words were these: if I don't get my hands and my arms around this and fix this in 3 years, then this is going to be a one-term deal for me. That's what he said. Now, if I were the candidate, I would have beat Barry about the head and shoulders with that every chance I got. I would have led every ad with it. I would have finished every ad with it. I would have done it in every market in America. He would have been so tired of seeing that he would have wanted to strangle himself or maybe strangle me. It's kind of hard to strangle yourself, isn't it? I think that's called hanging. Anyway. But I never saw that clip, ever. And I'm in a top 10 market here in Atlanta, and I never saw that clip ever in the Romney campaign. Amazing. Now think about the debates. Romney pulled his punches over and over and over, refusing to go for the jugular on issues like the Benghazi embassy deaths, or the unemployment rate, or even simple things like the price of a gallon of gasoline. I mean, he touched the gas prices, but if you are the candidate, wouldn't you say this? Ladies and gentlemen watching, when this guy took over in 2008, gas prices were $1.78. Now they're nearly $4. Do the math. If you want gas prices to remain that high, vote for him. If you want gas prices to come down, vote for me, because I will open up federal lands for drilling, will increase the supply, which will drop prices because the demand will stay about the same. Now, wouldn't you have said that? Why would you have not said that? I'll tell you why. Because in Texas Hold'em parlance, you know what Texas Hold'em is? Poker games. When you push all of your chips to the center of the table on a bet, you're all in. Well, Mitt was never all in. He was not willing to get some blood on his hands, so to speak. And don't kid yourself, American politics is a blood sport. Republicans are just simply not willing to play rough. In NASCAR, there's a saying, rubbin' is racing. A NASCAR driver has to be willing to swap a little paint with the cars around him, or he's not going to win. But Republicans are not willing to get mean or use a little saucy language. They're not willing to get up in somebody's face and raise their voice. Give me a candidate who would tell a reporter to fuck off when he asks a stupid question. Republicans are too goddamn afraid of what the media will say about them. A week ago, the media was all at Twitter because somebody caught Obama saying the word bullshitter. Now, not that they were critical, mind you, but Romney would have never used that word because he's scared. Give me a candidate that would use some four-letter words in a speech, and give me a candidate who can speak without a teleprompter. A candidate who had such deeply ingrained core beliefs that he could easily defend them on the fly. Ron Paul didn't need a damn teleprompter. He spoke from his heart, which is where his core beliefs are. Democrats are always willing to get down in the mud and mix it up. Now, I'm not saying it's right, just saying that if you know that the rules of the game are that there really are no rules, the one who wants it most usually wins. Barry was fighting for his political legacy and his place in history. Mitt Romney was running to enhance his resume. Who wanted it most? I leave it to you. But also keep in mind that Romney is the guy who got beat by the guy who got beat by Obama in 2008. He got the nominee runner-up trophy in 2008. This year he gets the Miss Congeniality tiara. Romney is only the best man that the oligarchy could find to do their bidding. It is over for Mr. Romney in his quest for the White House. Now, did you watch The Matrix? Neo, the main character, was the one. Well, apparently Mitt is not the one. But the joke is that the one doesn't exist. Obama's not the one either. He's simply a current one. Both men are textbook sociopaths. If you want to read a good article about sociopathy or being a sociopath, go to the archives above, look for an article, scroll down through it, look for an article called politician personality disorder, and read that. And if you're online and looking at this thing through Dump DC, there's going to be a link right there for you anyway. So what are you going to do over the next 4 years? You may not be happy, but are you just going to bitch about this? Or are you going to take some control of your own life? Don't you think that now would be a good time to seriously consider secession? In the nation, my friend, nation part 1, I guess, part 2, part something, damn. My friends at the Texas Nationalist Movement tell me that their website traffic at www.texasnationalist.com and their memberships have exploded since Tuesday. Some of the major talk radio stations have interviewed TNM President Daniel Miller about secession once again. I saw one online survey at KYFO 790 AM in Lubbock that 88.73% of respondents are in favor of Texas secession. The question they asked was this: should Texas secede? That's all. 3 words. I love Texas. By the way, I'll be on the radio with Susan Payne from 3 to 4 on WJCN 1360 AM in Philadelphia on Monday the 12th, discussing secession. Tune in or stream the broadcast live. That's WJCN 1360 on the AM dial, Philadelphia. Nation Part 2. Here's a quick one that came in while I was recording this. The CIA director and former Brigadier General David Petraeus has resigned as CIA director effective today, citing getting caught in an extramarital affair. Now, it's curious to me that this comes out only after the election. Now, think about this. This is the CIA. They're spies. Anybody want to try to convince me that this was not known before Tuesday? Next question that comes to mind is this. Was CIA Director Petraeus outed to get rid of him after the Benghazi embassy incident and allowed to resign with some modicum of dignity? Watch this story, folks. It'll last about 3 weeks and then die, just like most all news stories do. The Nation Part 3. Let's revisit Tropical Storm Sandy. I'm kind of surprised that D.C. did not try to postpone the elections last Tuesday. Maybe nothing, but, well, let me say it this way. Nothing at all came from all the rumors that martial law was going to happen, that the election was going to be postponed. Maybe we give the dickheads in D.C. more credit than they deserve. What do you think? International. The words renounce citizenship are now the fastest growing search terms at google.com. Curiously, Google's own analytics say that the searches came from places such as Washington State, California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, and most of the states of the eastern seaboard. Folks, I've been telling you, and I'm telling you now, your choices for liberty are A, move to a state where secession will likely occur, or B, escape from America and become an expatriate. And to do nothing but bitch and do Google searches is also a choice. Think about that. In business, a couple weeks back I learned about a new business concept called social commerce. We all know what social networking is and how big it's become. The use of networks like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google+, and others have exploded in just a few short years. Facebook launched in 2007, so it's become the giant that it is in only 8 years with a billion worldwide clients. Now, social commerce is simply gaining access to the vast number of eyes looking at social networks for business purposes. Now, the traditional method of gaining access is advertising, but advertising on social networks is not working out as well as expected. Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook thought that they were going to make a killing selling ads to businesses who wanted access to all their eyes. But Facebook's stock price has gone from its IPO high of 38 now down today to half of that price at just above 19. Turns out the social network users don't like ads any more than people that watch television. I want to see a show of hands here. I did this last week. I'm going to do this again this week because it's fun. How many of you record TV shows, even sports shows, so that you can view them a little bit later? And how many of you fast forward through the commercials? Well, that's what I thought. All of you do. So how can a business take advantage of social networking? Well, they can do it by referrals or networking. Word of mouth advertising, the most powerful and effective form of advertising in existence. And word of mouth advertising costs nothing. Think about this. You went to a movie and you liked it and you told your friends about it. You ate a great meal at a restaurant and you told your friends about it. Now, that's word of mouth advertising, but let me ask you this. Did the theater or the restaurant pay you a commission when your friends spent money at their places of business? Of course they did not. Excuse me. So how can you harness the power of word of mouth advertising for your business? An even better question would be that you should ask yourself is, how can I start a business using social networking and turn it into social commerce? If you already have a business, ask yourself this question. How can I maximize my business with social commerce that I'm not doing now? Another question you might ask yourself is this. Is there a way that I can add additional streams of income to my present business mix by using social commerce? Think of that. And let's try to answer the question for you. That leads me into tonight's commercial message. Let me introduce you to a new company named Solavei, S-O-L-A-V-E-I. Solavei just launched nationwide on September 21st, 2012. They have created a company that will allow you to refer your friends and relatives and make money by doing it. You don't have to sell them anything. Simply post messages and links and let your friends and family and acquaintances simply look for themselves. If they like what they see and they make a purchase, you get paid. Solvay's first value proposition is this. Get this. This is great. This is what caught my eye first. Unlimited talk, text, and data on a 4G nationwide network for $49 a month. No contract, no credit checks, no deposits. And you can bring your own phone and your phone number with you. And enrolling takes about maybe 5-6 minutes online. It's amazing. I save $46 a month by switching. That's $552 a year, and I'm getting more service than I got with AT&T. And think about this. Cell phone service is a life essential service that nearly everybody from age 10 to age 100 already has, and they're not going to give it up. They're not going to voluntarily give up their phone service, because what would they do? Sorry. Will they get a landline? That requires checks, credit checks, deposits. So phone bills like utility bills will get paid every month, even if other services get cut or eliminated altogether. That makes the business recession proof. Let me say that again. That makes this business recession proof. Solavei's business model is this. You refer people you know to Solavei. When those people sign up just like you did, you receive monthly commissions as long as those new customers remain Solavei customers. Solavei even has a plan whereby members can have their mobile phone service for free. Now, ask yourself this question. How many people getting free phone service are going to switch to another carrier, even if another carrier comes along with a tremendous deal? None. No other phone provider can beat free, can they? To learn more, go to dumpdc.com and look for this flash editorial article. There will be 2 videos on there about Solavei that you can watch. Then go to the link, click on the link that you find there, and sign up today for this service. In the economy, the number of actual initial unemployment claims filed under state programs, unadjusted, totaled 355,406 in the week ending November 3rd. Now, this is an increase of 14,489 from the previous week. In the same press release, the Labor Department seasonally adjusted, which means cooked the books. They seasonally adjusted the number to show that it was 8,000 lower than the last week. Folks, that's a swing of almost 23,500 people, new claims. That was just so that it looked like it was lower than the week before, just before the election happened. At least in this case, the lies are published for all to see. And the mainstream media publishes the lies the government gives them, not the actual numbers shown just one paragraph below the lies. It's just amazing. But let's cleanse our palate with a little sports. Sports Part 1. Well, this is the only sports today, so it's part one and it's part everything. The Atlanta Falcons have an 8-0 record in the National Football League. Pretty amazing. They're the only ones that are unbeaten at this point. Now, they didn't look sharp last Sunday night against the Dallas Cowboys, but they still won, and an ugly win still counts. This Sunday, they take on the New Orleans Saints at the Superdome in Nolens. My wife and I were in Nolens for Mardi Gras this year. Nothing like New Orleans. Here's a quick story. Julie and I were sitting at a seedy bar about a block off of Bourbon Street one rainy afternoon, and we were swilling drinks and talking crazy and lying and shit like that. And we engaged in conversation this long, lovely young lady sitting next to Julie. And at the end of the conversation, she handed her business card to Julie and invited both of us to come to a gentleman's club where that night she would be working the pole as a dancer. You know, folks, sometimes my real life exceeds my fantasy life. And finally, in entertainment, not a damn thing worth talking about happened in entertainment this week, but a couple things caught my eye. First, Shakespeare specialist Kenneth Branagh was knighted by Queen Elizabeth this week, so we get to call him Sir Kenneth from now on. And most important of all is that the Firefly series celebrates its 10th anniversary this weekend with a Firefly marathon on Sunday on the Science Channel. That would be found on your cable or satellite provider. Awesome. It's the best. Well, folks, that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Russell D. Longcore. For all of us here at NUP DC, which is just me and maybe the dogs that you've been seeing out over in the window behind me, good night and good luck. NUP DC, 6 letters that can change history. Copyright 2012, Russell Longcore. Permission to reprint or at whole, let's try that again. Permission to reprint in whole or in part is gladly granted, providing full credit is given. Good night.